If you have the algebra skills to figure this out, that is outstanding. Matter of fact, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll show you the correct answer in just 1 second. But if you're taking any sort of algebra course, if you're interested in learning algebra, this is definitely a problem that you will need to be able to cut, or this type of problem is something you'll definitely have to know how to do. This is not that difficult. And if you're totally lost, not a problem. I'm going to fully explain this in just 1 second. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And it really is my true passion to try to make learning math as easy as possible. So if you need assistance in math, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, so you don't even need a calculator, but if you want to use a calculator to assist you, no big deal. Let's go and take a look at the answer here. And the correct answer is the following. We have 3 times a squared times b, all of this over 5. So that is the answer that hopefully most of you got. Now, if you didn't get this answer and you're like, I'm totally lost, Mr. YouTube Math Man, why are you showing me this complicated stuff? I like those more basic math problems like 2 plus 7 divided by 3. Well, listen, I'm telling you right now, even if you've never learned algebra before, or if you struggle in algebra, you can learn this stuff. It's all about just kind of breaking it down in its component parts. But in fact, if you did get this right, we must celebrate your success by giving you a nice little happy face, an A plus, a 100%, and multiple stars, so you can brag to your friends and family that indeed you are a professional, certified expert in the area of simplifying variable radical expressions. They'll be like, wow, that is so advanced. I know that you're going to make a lot of money when you get out of school. All right, so all jokes aside, let's go and get into this because this is really important stuff, especially for those of you that are interested in learning algebra. Okay, so here is our problem, and there's a couple of things that we need to be thinking about, right? So here we have the cube root of this whole thing right here. And matter of fact, let me just do a very simple example of the cube root, right? So the cube root, if I asked you what is the cube root of 8? Okay, well, matter of fact, let's do this here. What if I asked you what is the square root of 4? Okay, now hopefully you say, oh, that is 2, and you would be correct because the square root right here, this symbol really has a little 2 right there. That's called the index. We never write that when it comes to a square root, but basically what we're asking is, hey, what number times itself will, gets you back to 4? And of course, that's 2 times 2. But the cube root is asking what number times itself 3 times gets you back to 8. And of course, the answer there is also 2. So there's a big difference between the cube root and a square root and the fifth root or whatever root. Of course, this can be whatever number we want it to be. But just so you understand, this symbol right here is really not the square root symbol. Okay, yes, it is the square root, but it really is what we call a radical. So if you're interested in learning more about this, or if you're taking like an algebra course or a math course, you would be learning this under the topic of radical expressions, radical equations, etc. Okay, so a couple things here. Before we tackle this problem, we want to make some observations, and here is the strategy that we're going to want to understand. And basically, I'll kind of break this up in 2 components. Now, there's some other things, some other kind of properties of square roots and radicals. I'll get to those here in a second. But basically, you want to be thinking about 2 big things here, 2 big strategies. And the first is called rational exponents. Okay, rational exponents. I'll show you what that means here in a second. And the next thing is we want to write numbers as powers. Okay, we want to write numbers as powers. So when you're faced with this type of question, you want to be thinking about these strategies right here. Let's go and take a look at what these mean here, rational exponents. So in mathematics, when you hear this word rational, you want to think of fraction. Okay, so in math, a number like 1/3 would be considered a rational number. Okay, that's because it's a number that can be expressed as a fraction where the numerator and denominator are what we call integers. Now, I don't want to get overly technical, so I'm kind of simplifying this or just kind of giving you some kind of easy ways to think about this. But rational, just think of fractions, okay? So rational exponents are what? Well, when it comes to powers like 2 to the third power, this 3 up here is the exponent. This 2 is the base. Okay, so that's the base. This is the exponent. The entire thing is a power. Okay, so when I'm thinking about rational exponents, I'm thinking about exponents, these little numbers up here that are fractions. Okay, so let's go and take a look at how this works. So the square root of 4, okay, we actually can write that as 4 to the 1/2 power. Remember, there's a little 2 right here. When it comes to the square root symbol, we never write that, but there is a little 2 there, a little invisible 2, if you will. But we can express the square root of 4 as 4 to the 1/2 power. Now, if I wanted to use this same idea using, of course, this is a rational exponent. If I wanted to write the cube root of 4, I can use rational exponents to express that this way, 4 to the 1/3 power. So whatever this number is, you're going to put that under 1 in this nice, lovely fraction. Okay, so this is just a couple basic examples of rational exponents. All right, so now this next part is you want to write numbers as powers. All right, that's a really good technique to help you solve a lot of different problems involving powers and exponents, etc. So for example, if you see 16, you might think to yourself, all right, 16 is 4 squared, so that's good. Or you might think of 16 as 2 to the 4th. Okay, the idea here is to think of numbers, try to express numbers and values in terms of powers, and there's oftentimes multiple different powers that will get you there, and some are going to be more advantageous than others. Okay, so if you have these two things in mind, then you basically have the right kind of situational awareness, if you will, to solve a problem like this. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to do. So we're going to take this cube root, okay, this whole thing, this cube root written this way, and we're going to express this in terms of a rational exponent, all right? So basically, I'm just going to take this whole stuff right here, put it right here, and put some parentheses, and take this whole thing to the 1/3 power. That's the same thing as this, okay? This right here to the 1/3 power is the same thing as the cube root of this whole, variable expression right there, okay? So we're going to want to work this problem in terms of using rational exponents. Now, this isn't the only way to approach this problem. Okay, some of you might be, well, my algebra teacher or my math teacher told me to do it this way. That's perfectly fine as long as you can, get the right answer. I would say yes, but I'm going to tell you right now, and when you get into more advanced math, you just simply want to get used to writing expressions using rational exponents. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and basically take this problem and write it this way, and now we're going to solve this problem. Okay, so that was the first step, is to write something using rational exponents. The next step is to do what? Well, the next step is to write our numbers, okay, as powers, right? Okay, so you can see here we have 27 and 125. We can write these as powers, but before you do that, what you want to do is try to clean up this expression. Okay, try to clean this up. Some of you might have done this right off the bat. If others of you, didn't see this, not a problem. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about right here. We have a to the 8th in the numerator and a squared out down in the denominator. Okay. Now, a to the 8th means there's 8 a's up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And down here you have 8 squared. You have 2 a's. So you can cross cancel 2 a's with these 2 a's, and that leaves you with how many a's up here in the numerator? A to the 6, okay? So you need to look for opportunities to kind of clean up what you can clean up easily. And right here, hopefully most of you were able to kind of see that, okay? You should have been able to do this even if you didn't know you're dividing powers here. So technically, you would subtract the exponents, right? So in other words, have a to the 8th divided by a squared. There is a rule or property of powers and exponents where we simply subtract the exponents when the bases are the same, and we get the same answer. Okay, so now that we have this nice and cleaned up, there's nothing else for us that we can do that's easy. So let's take a look at these numbers. Now I have 27 and 125. there are no common factors here. Because in other words, I couldn't reduce this. But because you're thinking, hey, that U2 math man, he said to think of numbers as powers if you can. Now, are there any powers, right, that you can think of where you can express 27 and 125? Okay, think of that, and hopefully you're like, oh yes, there's some powers, and we're going to write those powers right now. Are you struggling in math because of confusing lessons? Maybe the teacher's not showing you all the steps you need, or things are happening too fast. Well, there is a better way. So come on over to my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. There you'll find clear step by step instruction by me that will definitely make a huge difference in your math success. So make sure to check out all my courses by following the links in the description. Okay, so here's kind of where we're at, right? We went ahead and rewrote this problem using rational exponents. We cleaned up anything we could clean up in terms of a to the sixth power, right? We had a to the eighth, a squared. Now we're like, okay, what do we do now? Well, we have 27 and 125, so you want to look for opportunities to write any number, any values you can as a power. So 27 can be written as 3 cubed, right? 3 times 3 times 3. Now, some of you might be like, what's that, 9 times 3? You're like, oh, that's 9 squared times 3. Oh, yes, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, and 125 is 5 cubed, right? 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. So we're going to want to rewrite both of these values right here as 3 cubed and 5 cubed. Okay, so here's what our problem is going to look like right now. So we're almost ready to kind of simplify this situation. So we had to kind of do, a little bit of work to get it to this stage. But at this point right now, the way this problem is set up, this is going to be very easy to simplify. Let's go and take a look at what we need to do in order to do that. So what we have to do is understand that we have kind of like a big power here. We got a lot of powers actually. This expression has a power here, power. Each one of these things have a power to another power. Okay, there's an outside exponent. So the property of powers and exponents you want to keep in mind is the following, right? This is kind of formally how it's written. It's a to the m to the nth power is equal to a to the m times n. What does that mean? It just simply means that when you have a power to another power, okay, like this, like 2 cubed squared, well, what we could do is multiply that outside exponent to that inside exponent. So 2 times 3 is 6, so that's equal to 2 to the 6. And so what we can do here is simply multiply this 1/3 times all these exponents right here, and we will simplify this problem. And you can see this is going to work out nicely because all of these right here are going to be divisible by 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. So 1/3, and hopefully you're up to speed on your fractions. 1/3 times 3 is what? 1, right? So that's 3 to the first. 1/3 times 6, and if I need to write this out, let me just do this. 6, or 6 of 1 times 1/3 is 6 over 3, which of course is 2. Okay, so that's a to the second power right there. 1/3 times 3 again is 1, or b to the first. Now you don't have to write to the first power. It's kind of implied. Same thing right here with 3. That is 3 to the first. B is b to the first. So we have a squared, and then this 1/3 we can multiply down to that 5 to the third power, which is going to be, of course, 5 to the first, or 5, and there you go. Okay. Now, hopefully, what I accomplished in this video was to kind of walk you through nice and slow. This is one example, okay, one example problem. But the techniques that I used here will basically be can be applied to all sorts of different type of problems in algebra like this, right? Not only with radical expressions, but like exponential functions, logarithms, etc., etc. You want to be thinking about, all right, I got a number. Can I write it as a power? Can I use rational exponents? Now, if you want to learn more about rational exponents, working with powers, etc., check out a couple of my courses. I'll leave the links to them in the description below. I would probably recommend like my Algebra 2 course. Although a lot of this is Algebra 1, you'll find links to both of those courses in the description. Also, I have a ton of additional videos on my YouTube channel that can help you out with this stuff as well. Okay, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.